touch with Dipti Colon. Dipti, beginning with the truck attack in Sweden.
Well, there's been a lot of reactions, of course, Will, after that tragic attack, and many people wondering after Nice, Berlin, and London, as this Twitter user wonders, are trucks the new weapon, the self-terror weapon, if you like? So many people really picking up on that. Again, a vehicle used to ram into people on a busy street. Elsewhere on social media, there's a lot of outpouring of grief. This user says not even little Sweden is safe anymore, and people have been sharing different images like this one: divided we fail, united we prevail, fight against terror, with the Swedish flag in the background. There's also a lot of love for Stockholm and Sweden, as you see here in this picture. What's interesting is there's also a hashtag called Open Stockholm, because people have actually been tweeting under this hashtag to open their homes to people who are stranded in the city that is under lockdown. So people using that hashtag to say, okay, my house is here, or I'm driving along here, I can pick you up and bring you to safety. Paris City Hall says it will turn off the Eiffel Tower in homage to the victims. And many people on Twitter are picking up on Paris City Hall's actions. It was, of course, more reluctant to turn off the Eiffel Tower earlier this week for the victims of the St. Petersburg attack.
Now, the other major news story today, still reactions to the U.S. striking Bashar al-Assad's airbase in Syria. A lot of reaction on that online as well.
Well, it's left no one ambivalent, Will, that's for sure. And it comes with very awkward timing. Donald Trump was, of course, trying to woo the Chinese leader. And in fact, Bloomberg says he went from steak dinner to the Situation Room. I think that really sums it up. They report that he was complimenting Xi Jinping's wife just as the U.S. were preparing to launch those missiles into Syria. And the Chinese leader himself is not happy with the decision, firstly because of optics. He was being wined and dined by the U.S. president as these strikes were being launched, so it doesn't look good for him back home. Plus, Xi Jinping and his tightly controlled government, the Washington Post says, they do not like surprises. And in his inner circle, some are wondering if this was a deliberate message from Donald Trump to the Chinese president. Tensions are, of course, mounting with Russia, Syria's ally as well. The Guardian reports that Sean Spicer maintains that Assad must respect agreements not to use chemical weapons, but now it's sort of emerging that there's no real clear plan for what's next. Obviously, Donald Trump has made his point, but what's going to happen from here? He's also he's received a lot of support, interestingly, back home from some of his most ardent critics, including Florida Senator Marco Rubio, who tweeted this earlier. He retweeted a proverb saying the wicked will not go punished, to show his approval of Trump's decision. You also have Senators John McCain and Lindsey Graham, who released a joint statement earlier today saying Trump confronted a pivotal moment in Syria and took action. The big question, of course, is where to from here. The author, Fred Kaplan, has written an article in Slate that says some are calling for these strikes to continue, for this U.S. military action to continue, although at this point it seems like it was a one-off thing. What's clear is that he really was trying to distinguish himself, Donald Trump, from Barack Obama and his previous administration.
But it's not all praise back home in the U.S. Some of his right-wing allies very vocal in leveling criticism at the U.S. president.
That's right. A lot of his right-wing core supporters are very, very upset. They're furious, mainly, well, for several reasons. Firstly, because he didn't seek congressional support on this. The Republican Senator Rand Paul has even written a pretty angry article on Fox News' website saying, I quote, "No president is above the law or above the Constitution. I said so when it was Barack Obama, and I will say so when it is Donald Trump." Others are angry because Trump has effectively upended his foreign policy in Syria, and this was a kind of campaign promise. It was something that he made very clear many, many years ago. Even on Twitter, he was incessantly tweeting against military action. So many people, especially on the right, see it as a betrayal of this promise. A Twitter user, Matt Stoller, has been tracking thousands of alt-right reactions to this decision, reactions that were posted on Breitbart's Facebook page, and he's been retweeting them. I just want to show you this one. President Trump folded in less than 100 days. Steve Bannon might as well leave now and come back to Breitbart to supervise the coverage of World War III. It's a little bit dramatic, but you get the point.
Yeah, that's right. Now, Donald Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, made his first visit to Iraq this week, and one of the photos causing a stir on Twitter. Tell us why.
Well, Kushner is, of course, one of Trump's closest advisors, but the problem is he's never really had any war experience, Will. So the U.S. president sent his son-in-law to visit troops in Iraq this week to meet with U.S. advisors, U.S. troops, Iraqi leaders, and really get an update of how the battle against the jihadists is going. Anyway, one of his photos has sort of created a stir online. He looks hilariously preppy, actually. He's sort of dressed in a suit and tie, as you see there, with some pretty nice-looking shades. A couple of tweets online. This Twitter user says, how to get the battlefield to bar look, while another person says, apparently it's Fashion Week in Baghdad.
All right, Deepika Laurent with Media Watch, Kate Moody with Business. Stick around for more headlines coming up in just a moment.